position you in this very moment, because he's about to unlock doors you thought were sealed shut, to answer prayers you've whispered in the quiet nights, and to shift you into a dimension of favor you've never experienced before. You see, some dates on our calendar aren't just days. They're divine appointments marked by heaven itself. And if you're hearing these words right now, congratulations are in order. You are standing at the threshold of your breakthrough. There are moments in our lives where everything seems still, almost too still, like the calm before a mighty storm, or the silence that falls just before the voice of God is about to thunder into your reality. These moments are sacred, and they often go unnoticed unless your spirit has been trained to discern divine timing. You may not have realized it, but God has been aligning people, conversations, decisions, delays, and even disappointments in perfect orchestration, not to frustrate you, but to position you. There are divine appointments being prepared in the unseen realm, moments that are not just going to change your week or your month, but moments that will redefine your destiny. And these appointments are not being crafted in chaos or coincidence. They are being aligned in heaven's secret chambers, where timing is holy and nothing is wasted. If this message reached you before June 26, then you are in the window of divine synchronization. And the Spirit of God is moving in ways you cannot yet trace. What looks random to you is recorded in heaven. Every missed opportunity, every delay, every closed door, every person who walked away was part of the alignment process. Because divine appointments are not just about what you walk into, they're also about what God pulls you out of. You had to miss that phone call. You had to lose that job. That relationship had to end, because God knew that if you kept walking in that direction, you would miss the appointment he scheduled for you. Divine appointments are so precise that even seconds matter. God is not just aligning your purpose, he's aligning your posture. He's making sure your heart is in a position to carry the blessing he is preparing to release. You can't receive divine release with a bitter heart. You can't walk into a promised moment still holding on to your past disappointments. So what God has been doing in this quiet season is recalibrating your internal compass. He's been shifting your expectations, refining your vision, and stretching your faith. Because divine appointments are not given to the comfortable, they're entrusted to the faithful. There are people who will walk past their destiny because they confuse discomfort with disorder. But if you feel the stretching, if you feel the unfamiliarity of this season, then take courage. It means you're in alignment. God's appointments rarely look convenient. Mary was pregnant with Jesus, and she had to travel miles on a donkey. Moses had a speech problem, and he was called to speak to kings. Esther was an orphan, and she was chosen to save a nation. Why? Because divine appointments don't follow earthly logic. They are rooted in heaven's purpose. And if God is preparing a divine appointment for you before June 26, it means he has found you faithful. It means that everything you've endured has passed through the filter of his sovereignty. Even your pain has been aligned with purpose. Even your waiting has been laced with intention. God never aligns without an assignment, and your appointment is connected to your assignment. You see, God doesn't just schedule moments, he schedules miracles. There are miracles waiting to intersect your obedience, but the alignment requires trust. Trust that the delays were divine. Trust that the silence was sacred. Trust that the confusion was actually confirmation that you were moving beyond the realm of your own understanding and into the realm of divine strategy. When God aligns, he often removes visibility, because if you could see everything he was doing, you'd try to take control. So he hides the plan to protect your destiny. He conceals the details so you won't self-sabotage. Divine alignment often feels like divine abandonment, but it's not. It's the precise moment when heaven is working hardest on your behalf. Right now, there are rooms you don't know about, conversations you haven't heard, and decisions you're not yet aware of that that are being aligned with your name on them. People are being shifted, agendas are being rewritten, and timelines are being accelerated. All for you. Not because you are perfect, but because you were obedient. You didn't quit when you could have. You didn't settle when it was easier. You didn't give up when no one else believed in the vision. And that obedience has created access. Heaven rewards alignment. The appointment you're about to step into before June 26 isn't a fluke, it's a fulfillment. It's the manifestation of every silent seed you planted in the dark. Every prayer you whispered when no one was watching. Every fast, every act of kindness, every surrender. Heaven keeps records. And your name is written in the ledger of those who didn't give up. The enemy has tried everything to make you miss this moment. He sent distractions, delays, discouragement, and even deception to convince you that you're not close. But can I tell you something? The attacks intensified not because you were off track, but because you were almost there. Hell doesn't panic over wandering believers. It panics over aligned ones. When your spirit gets into alignment with heaven, every demon assigned to your delay gets nervous. Because divine appointments destroy demonic patterns. You're not just stepping into blessing, you're breaking cycles. You're not just receiving favor, you're canceling generational curses. That's why it's been hard. That's why you've been tired. That's why you felt pressure from every side. But the pressure was proof of your proximity. God is a God of details. He doesn't just align your opportunities, he aligns your capacity. Before he brings you into what's next, he builds within you what can sustain it. That's why he's been quiet, that's why he's been pruning. Because divine appointments are weighty. They don't come to impress, they come to shift. And God will never give you a shift you don't have the spiritual muscles to carry. So this season of stretching wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The tears were watering something. The loneliness was refining something. The delay was building something. And now that your posture is aligned, your appointment is on the way. And it's not just any appointment. It's one marked by heaven. One that can only be opened by the hand of God. No man, no system, no opposition can stop it. Because when God aligns, he also assigns angels to protect the appointment. There is a stirring in the spirit realm for those who have endured without applause, for those who have been faithful in obscurity, for those who have chosen integrity over influence. This is your moment. Before June 26th, something will shift, not just around you, but in you. You will begin to see confirmation in conversations. You will notice doors opening that you didn't knock on. You will experience favor that doesn't make sense. He said, but don't question it. Don't second guess it, just walk in it. Because when God aligns, he doesn't need your understanding. He needs your agreement. He needs your yes. He needs your faith. And he needs your surrender. That is the currency of alignment. Even now, I sense in the spirit that some of you have been praying for clarity, asking God for a sign, for a word, for a confirmation. And this message is your sign. This is your confirmation. This is heaven's announcement that your time is near, that your waiting has not been wasted, that your obedience has not been overlooked, that your process has not been in vain. And if you can posture your heart in worship, if you can say yes to what you cannot yet see, then heaven will make the invisible visible, because divine appointments don't require your performance. They require your presence. You just need to show up and God will do the rest. The coming days will test your discernment. Not every open door will be divine. Not every opportunity will be appointed. That's why alignment is critical, because when you are aligned with heaven, your spirit will recognize the difference between what is good and what is God. The appointment coming your way before June 26 is not just another season. It's a divine shift that carries your next level. And your preparation will determine your possession. So guard your heart. Protect your peace. Maintain your posture. Heaven is watching. And alignment always precedes announcement. Your name is being mentioned in rooms you've never entered. Your spirit is being strengthened for platforms you never imagined. Your voice is being prepared for assignments you never thought you were qualified for. This is the season where God reminds the world who you are, not for your glory, but for His. Because every divine appointment carries a divine revelation. It reveals not just where you're going, but who sent you. And when God aligns, He does so to reveal His faithfulness. He's not just setting you up for success. He's setting you up as a sign that obedience still matters, a sign that faith still works, a sign that divine timing is still undefeated. You're not late. You're not forgotten. You're not behind. You're right where you need to be. And heaven has scheduled something for you. Not next year, not next season, before June 26. And all God is asking is that you stay in position. Because what's coming is bigger than what you prayed for. It's deeper than what you dreamed. It's more precise than what you planned. God is aligning divine appointments in secret that will soon be revealed. And if you stay aligned, you will not miss it. Because what God starts in secret, He always reveals in power. Obedience is often misunderstood in the realm of faith. It's not just about rule following or saying yes when it's easy. True obedience requires trust in the unseen, faith in the impossible, and movement without full understanding. It's one thing to believe in God. It's another to obey Him when He tells you to walk away from something you want, to wait when your heart is restless, to give when you feel empty, to speak when you're afraid, and to remain silent when your emotions are screaming. Obedience isn't passive. It's a radical demonstration of surrender. And in this moment, in this very window of time before June 26, your obedience is holding the key to a supernatural acceleration. God is not delaying your promise. He is watching how you posture yourself in the process. Because acceleration is not for the impatient. It is for the obedient. There are moments in life where the obedience of one day can shift the trajectory of an entire destiny. One yes can open doors no man can shut. One act of surrender can position you for a blessing that generations will talk about. But we often want the acceleration without the alignment. We want the breakthrough without the burden. We want the destination without the discipline. But God is calling you higher. He's calling you deeper. He's calling you into obedience that costs something. Because it's not sacrifice if it's convenient. It's not faith if you're in control. And it's not acceleration if it moves at your pace. The Spirit of God is stirring, and He's looking for those who will respond, not with words, but with obedience. The kind of obedience that doesn't make sense. The kind that puts your reputation on the line. The kind that moves before the evidence shows up. The kind that trusts God enough to say, even if I lose everything, I will still follow you. What you do between now and June 26 matters. Not because of a deadline, but because heaven is releasing something in this season, and it will not fall into passive hands. Acceleration is coming, but it's reserved for those who are ready. Ready to obey without full instructions. Ready to shift when God says shift. Ready to let go when God says release. Ready to step out when fear says stay. Obedience is the bridge between your current season and your next miracle. And many of you have been standing on the edge of a move of God, not realizing that the only thing left is your yes. You've prayed, you've fasted, you've waited. And now God is saying, move. But not just physically. Move in faith. Move in expectation. Move in action. Because faith without works is dead. And this is not a season for dead faith. God is not playing hide and seek with your destiny. He's waiting for obedience. Because obedience is proof of trust. And trust is the currency of the kingdom. We live in a world that teaches control, manipulation, and performance. But heaven responds to trust. Heaven accelerates the life of those who choose to obey God, even when it costs them their comfort. Look at Abraham. One act of obedience to leave everything he knew became the seed of a nation. Look at Noah. One act of obedience in building something that made no sense became the preservation of humanity. Look at Mary. One act of obedience became the womb through which the Savior entered the world. God doesn't need crowds. He doesn't need applause. He looks for obedience. Quiet, radical, unwavering obedience. And right now, he's looking at you. This window of time is a test of your response. The Spirit is whispering things that may seem subtle, but they are significant. He may be asking you to forgive someone, to call someone, to release a habit, to start a project, to apply for something, to end a conversation. And though it may seem small to you, in the kingdom, obedience carries weight. One small act of obedience can unlock a flood of favor. One surrender decision can invite divine acceleration. And acceleration doesn't mean chaos or busyness. It means God is compressing time to accomplish in days what should have taken years. But he will only release it to those who are in sync with his voice. Not with their own desires, not with public opinion, but with a whisper of the Spirit. Your obedience is not just for you. It's for everyone connected to your yes. There are people waiting on the other side of your obedience. People who will find healing, breakthrough, salvation, and direction because you obeyed. You're not just building your life. You're becoming a vessel. And vessels must be emptied of pride, emptied of fear, emptied of doubt, so they can carry the fullness of God's glory. That's what this season is about. God is not punishing you. He's purifying you. He's refining your motives, testing your heart, stretching your faith, because when acceleration comes, there will be no time to adjust. You must already be ready. The blessing won't wait for you to get serious. The opportunity won't pause while you make up your mind. That's why obedience now is critical. It's not about perfection. It's about posture. God doesn't expect you to have all the answers. He just expects you to trust the one who does. He doesn't ask for certainty. He asks for surrender. And when you give him your yes, even in uncertainty, heaven backs you up. The resources come. The strength comes. The clarity comes. But it begins with obedience. Before June 26th, there is a shift scheduled for your life, a divine reordering of circumstances. But God will not release what you cannot sustain. So he's asking you to obey him now, not when it makes sense, not when it feels safe, but now. Because the miracle is waiting for your movement. The favor is waiting for your faith. The acceleration is waiting for your obedience. Don't be distracted by the noise of this world. Social media, opinions, pressure, they are not your compass. The Spirit is. And if you're sensitive enough to hear him, you'll know what to do. And when you do it, things will change quickly. Acceleration doesn't follow logic, it follows obedience. And sometimes God tests us with something small to see if he can trust us with something great. That's why the instruction may seem insignificant. That's why the act of obedience may seem unseen. But in the Spirit, it is a divine transaction. You obey and heaven responds. You surrender and the kingdom moves on your behalf. Obedience is not weakness, it's warfare. Every time you obey, you cancel the assignment of the enemy. Every time you obey, you align yourself with the will of heaven. And alignment brings acceleration. There's a reason you're hearing this now. There's a reason this message has found you. It's because your next level is at the door, and God is giving you one final push, not to pressure you, but to position you. He wants you ready. He wants your heart clean. He wants your mind clear. Because what's coming will require maturity. It will require discipline. It will require clarity. But most of all, it will require obedience. The kind of obedience that doesn't ask for all the details. The kind that says, if you said it, I'll do it. The kind that says, even if it hurts, I'll trust you. because you've come too far to turn back now. You've sown too many tears to quit now. You've survived too many battles to doubt now. And God didn't bring you this far to leave you. He brought you here to accelerate you. Before June 26th, there will be decisions to make. Some of them will be easy. Some of them will stretch you. But all of them will require obedience. And every act of obedience is a key that opens something, a key that shifts something, a key that unlocks something. So pay attention to what the Spirit is saying. Don't rush. Don't overthink. Just listen and obey, because the window is open, the atmosphere is ripe, and the Spirit of God is moving swiftly. Those who move with him will experience what eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. Those who obey will be catapulted into their destiny. Not gradually, but suddenly. Because heaven's pace is not like earth. When God moves, he moves fast. But he only accelerates the surrendered. You've been praying for a sign. You've been asking God for a breakthrough, and this is his answer. Not a shortcut, not a detour, but a call to obedience. A call to trust him like never before. A call to let go of control. A call